Hello dear students, welcome to Konar classes. Now today we will discuss the continuation of our discussion what we had in the last session, that is integration by parts. As you see that in the board that when to perform integration, when that integrand is a product of two functions fx and gx, then we need to choose that between these two functions fx and gx, that which one is the first function and which one is the second function. Now in my previous session I described in detail that how to choose the first function and second function. Those who are yet to look into that session, please have a look into it so that you get a very clear idea that why it is required, why it is important to choose that first function and second function very properly. Now here is the summary. So whenever the product of two functions are given to you and you need to perform that integration, that following steps has to be followed. So this is the board work of the previous session, that last part of the board work. So I am summarizing, and from here we will start solving some questions. Okay, the step one is that when the two functions is given as a product and you need to find that integration of that. So first you need to see that between these two functions, if one function is not directly integrable, then we should select that function as the first function. For example, x into log x. We see that log x is not directly integrable, but x is directly integrable because integration of x is x square by 2. But log x is not directly integrable. What is meant by not directly integrable? That means based on your knowledge, okay, whatever, if you are following all the sessions, whatever I have discussed so far, we have not learned how to perform the integration of log x. Or you cannot tell, in a very straightforward manner that whose differentiation is log x. Okay, so that is why it is not directly integrable. Hence we should select that function as the first function under this step 1, and the other function, that is x, that should be selected at the second function. That is the step 1. Now you see that it is not two functions, only one function is given and it is not directly integrable, then definitely we should select that function as the first function and one as the second function. For example, integration log x is given. So and log x is not directly integrable, so you should select log x as the first function and 1 as the second function. Now the third step, you see that both the functions are given and both are directly integrable. Then what to do? So then we should follow this rule, which is called I-let rule, and I described the details about this rule in my previous session, but here is the summary. So I stands for inverse trigonometric function, L stands for logarithmic function, A stands for algebraic function, T stands for trigonometric functions, and E stands for exponential function. If you see whatever the integration is given to you, you will find that functions are actually falling into these categories. Now if the two functions are given and you need to find that integration of this thing, so between these two functions you should select that which one is coming left to the other, as long as the categories of the functions are concerned. Then that function which is coming to the left side, that function is considered as a first function. For example, if we say x into e power x, x is directly integrable, e power x also directly integrable. Then what to choose as a first function? We will see x is algebraic function and e is exponential function. We see the algebraic function is coming left to exponential function according to the I-let rule. So we should select x as the first function and e power x as the second function. If we see that x into cos x, x is what? Algebraic function, cos x is trigonometric function. And in this I-let rule, we see that algebraic function comes left to the trigonometric function. Okay, so algebraic function, that is x, should be considered as first function and cos x should be considered as trigonometric, cos x should be considered as second function. Okay. So this is the rule. Now based on that rule we are going to solve some questions, and let's see that how we are going to do it. Okay, let's look into the first one, x into log x. Okay, so in fact let's do it here. So let's first perform x into log x dx. Okay, you also do along with me, dear students, so that things will be very clear. Okay, here the function, let me use the black color, and that is the formula. Okay, so what to do? Integration of x into log x dx. Okay, so we see that x is an directly integrable, log x is not directly integrable, so log x should be considered as the first function. Like means if we compare with fx and gx, so log x should be considered as fx and gx should be considered as x. So what it should be here, dear students? So log x as the first function, integration of x dx minus integration of d dx of log x. Okay, d dx of log x, okay, into integration of x dx, correct, and then complete dx. Okay, I hope all of you got it, because log x as the first function and x as the second function. Then what we get it here, dear students? So what is integration of x dx? That is x square by 2. So we get x square by 2 into log x minus integration d dx of log x. d dx of log x is 1 by x, okay, into integration of x dx, that is equal to x square by 2, x square by 2 dx. So what we get it here, dear students? So we get is equal to x square by 2 into log x minus 1 by 2 into integration of x dx, and x got cancelled, okay, because x cannot be equal to 0. So you can write also, since x cannot be equal to 0. Okay, because if x is equal to 0, then the question doesn't make sense. 0 into log 0 doesn't make sense. So integration of x dx, so what we get it here, dear students? So x square by 2 into log x minus 1 by 2 into x square by 2, that means x square by 4. So what we can write is that 1 by 2 into x square by 2 plus 1 integrating constant c. Okay, so the result what we are going to get it here, dear students, so that is equal to x square by 2 log x minus x square by 4 plus c. Okay, so this is the integration of x log x. Okay, dear students, so now let's proceed to the next one to find that integration. Okay, when that function is not directly integrable. Okay, okay, so let me write this one. So only one function here we will consider, and that function is not directly integrable. Okay, so the function what we are considering here is that log x, right? If you recall, dear students, that few minutes back I said that so far whatever we have learned, that with this knowledge you will not able to, you do not know how to perform the integration of log x dx, and at that time I said that after few minutes you will know. So now we are going to do this thing. So log x is not directly integrable, so what we should consider? We should consider the log x as the first function, okay, and 1 as the second function. Okay, so then what you should do, dear students? So here you will write log x into integration dx, 1 dx means dx, minus integration d dx of log x, d dx of log x into integration of 1 dx means dx, and the complete thing dx. Correct, dear students? Okay, log x is the first function, 1 is the second function. Applied this formula which you see in the blue color. So then what we are going to get it here? So this is equal to integration of dx is what? X, so x into log x, okay, minus integration of d dx of log x. d dx of log x is 1 by x into integration dx is x and complete dx. So that is equal to x log x minus integration dx. Okay, so that is equal to x log x, okay, minus x plus c, the integrating constant. Okay, so this is the solution. You can also write in simplified format, x into log x minus 1 plus c. Okay, dear students, so we got it, how to perform this integration. Okay, so integration of log x is equal to x into log x minus 1 plus c, where c is integrating constant. Now let's proceed to the next one, where we will take that, you know, the product of two functions where both the functions are directly integrable. Okay, so one such function what we can take is that, you know, x into e power x. So let me take this one. So integration of x into e power x dx. Okay, dear students, so what we see here, x and e power x both are directly integrable. X is algebraic, e is trigonometric, so e is exponential. So what we can do is that from x e power x dx, what we can do is that x is algebraic, e power x is exponential, so algebraic is coming left to the exponential, so we should consider x as the first function. So what we should do it here, so x integration e power x dx, okay, minus integration d dx of the first function, that is x, into integration of the second function, that is e power x dx. Once it is done, then the complete dx. Correct, dear students? So what we are going to get it here, x into integration of e power x is e power x minus integration d dx of x is 1 and e power x dx integration is e power x. So we get e power x dx. Correct? So what we are going to get it here from, so that is equal to x into e power x minus integration of e power x is e power x, and finally we include one integrating constant, that is c. So from here we get is that e power x into x minus 1 plus c is the answer. Okay, dear students, so you got it, so how to perform that one. Let's proceed to the next question, dear students. Okay, so the next one what we are going to do is that the question here is, you know, it is x sin inverse x by square root of 1 minus x square. Okay, so here the question is that integration of x into sin inverse x divided by square root of 1 minus x square dx. So dear students, so that we see there is a algebraic function, that is x by 1 square root of 1 minus x square, and sin inverse x, another function, that is a inverse trigonometric function. So what you should do, you should write is that this is equal to sin inverse x into 1 into x by square root of 1 minus x square dx. Correct? So now we see there are two functions, sin inverse x and x by square root of 1 minus x square. So according to the Euler rule, we can consider the sin inverse x as the, you know, first function. Also, there is another way, the step 1, if you see the product of two functions in which one is not directly integrable. Sin inverse x is not directly integrable, so we can take sin inverse x as the first function. Yeah, x by square root of 1 minus x square also not directly integrable, but by means of substitution you can find that integration. So anyway, according to the step 3, that we can consider, sorry, according to the step 1, okay, we can consider that sin inverse x as the first function. So what we should write it here, dear students, so then we can write this is equal to sin inverse x into integration x dx divided by square root of 1 minus x square minus integration, that is d dx of, okay, d dx of sin inverse x into integration of x dx divided by square root of 1 minus x square and then complete dx. Okay, so now we write it here, this is equal to sin inverse x into, we consider this integration, that integration x dx by square root of 1 minus x square, that integration we want to find it separate. Okay, so let's consider this integrand as this integration as I1. So then what we are going to get it, dear students, so here we are getting into this sin inverse x into I1 minus integration, that is ddx of sin inverse x. ddx of sin inverse x is what? 1 by square root of 1 minus x square into I1, okay, this complete dx. Okay, so that what you see is that integration of x dx by square root of 1 minus x square. Okay, so that is also the same thing, that is same I1. Now let's see how to perform that integration x dx by square root of 1 minus x square. Let us do it here. So integration of x dx divided by square root of 1 minus x square. So what you can do, dear students, here we can take 1 minus x square equal to t. So let 1 minus x square equal to t. So from our knowledge of substitution, so if we make a differentiation of both the sides, so differentiation of 1 is 0, then minus differentiation of x square is 2x dx, that is equal to dt. So then from here what we get, dear students? So from here we get x dx is equal to minus 1 by 2 dt. Correct? So then after this substitution, what we are going to get? X dx is minus 1 by 2. So we can write it here is that minus 1 by 2 we can take outside of this integration. It is dt divided by square root of t. Okay, so that means what we are getting, dear students, so that is equal to minus 1 by 2 integration t to the power minus 1 by 2 dt. So this is equal to minus 1 by 2 into t to the power minus 1 by 2 plus 1, okay, divided by minus 1 by 2 plus 1. Okay, I am not adding that integrating constant here because finally we need to keep it here, and in the last session I explained that why we are not keeping that integrating constant for that intermediate integration, means integration of gx. Okay, you can look into that session. So what we get it here, dear students, so that is equal to minus 1 by 2 into t to the power plus 1 minus 1 by 2, so that means t to the power 1 by 2. So let me write clearly, okay, or I can write it here. Okay, so that is equal to minus 1 by 2 and plus 1 minus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 2. When it comes into the numerator it becomes 2 into t to the power minus 1 by 2 plus 1, that means t to the power 1 by 2. So that is equal to minus t to the power 1 by 2. What is t? T is equal to 1 minus x square. So t to the power 1 by 2 means square root of t, that means square root of 1 minus x square. So we get square root of 1 minus x square, correct? We get square root of 1 minus x square. Let me write it properly, it is not showing here. So we get this is equal to minus square root of 1 minus x square. Okay, so that is the value of I1. Okay, so now all you need to do is that apply that value of I1 here. So what we get it here, so then this is equal to minus of square root of 1 minus x square minus of square root of 1 minus x square into sin inverse x, okay, minus integration 1 by square root of 1 minus x square into I1. I1 is what? Minus square root of 1 minus x square. So that minus and this one will become plus. Okay, so it become plus into square root of 1 minus x square dx. Correct? Okay, so that means what we get it here, dear students, so minus square root of 1 minus x square into sin inverse x plus that square root of 1 minus x square by square root of 1 minus x square become cancelled, and we get only integration dx. And integration dx we know that is x. So what we get? Minus square root of 1 minus x square into sine inverse x plus c. Okay, dear students, so this is the result of this integration. So that we get is equal to x minus square root of 1 minus x square into sine inverse x plus c. Okay, so this is the way we get that one. Now we can approach the same question in a little different manner also. Okay, so let us look into that one. Okay, so how to perform that one? Okay, so we can take the sine inverse x equal to theta. That substitution also we can do. Okay, let's take it and see that how we are getting the result. Okay, so let me only clean this portion. Okay, and let's see how we are going to get it. Okay. So for this integration, let that sine inverse x is equal to theta. That implies what? That implies one thing we know, that x is equal to sine theta, correct? And also if we differentiate both sides of sine inverse x equal to theta, then what we are going to get from here? We get, what is the differentiation of sine inverse x? 1 by square root of 1 minus x square into dx, that is equal to d theta. Okay, now let us place all these values here. Let me clean this portion. Okay, so then what we are going to get? So this is, because this is equal to integration that dx by square root of 1 minus x square become d theta. So what is x? X is sine theta, and sine inverse x equal to theta. So that means we get sine theta, that is for x, and for sine, so x equal to sine theta here now, and then sine inverse x equal to theta. So sine theta into theta, and dx by square root of 1 minus x square is equal to d theta. So we get d theta. So now here theta, sine theta, d theta. Okay, so what we get here? This is equal to integration. We see that between theta and sine theta, both are directly integrable. Okay, out of which sine theta is trigonometric function and theta is algebraic. So what we can consider, according to our Euler rule, that we should consider theta as the first function. Euler algebraic function comes left to the trigonometric function, so you should take theta as the first function and sine theta as the second function. Okay, so theta into sine theta d theta. So then how to perform the integration? So we know that theta into integration sine theta d theta, correct, minus integration d theta of theta, okay, into integration sine theta d theta and complete d theta, correct. So now what we are going to get? So sine theta, what is the integration of sine theta? Integration of sine theta is minus cos theta. So that is equal to theta into, so minus we can write is that minus theta cos theta minus dd theta of theta is equal 1, dd theta of theta is 1, and integration of sine theta is equal to minus cos theta. So minus cos theta and minus will become plus. I repeat, dd theta of theta is 1. So 1 into integration of sine theta d theta. Integration of sine theta is minus cos theta. So that minus cos theta and minus become plus, and cos theta d theta. Okay. So we know what is that integration of cos theta. Integration of cos theta is sine theta, and finally we apply one integrating constant c. Okay. Now what is the value of sine theta? Sin theta is equal to x. So we can write it, this is equal to sin theta minus theta into cos theta plus c. So what is sin theta? Sin theta equal to x minus theta is equal to what? Sin inverse x. So sin inverse x, okay, into cos theta. If sin theta is equal to x, then cos theta should be what? Square root of 1 minus x square, because sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. Okay, so sin cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So that implies cos square theta is equal to 1 minus sin square theta. Sin square theta is equal to x square. So 1 minus x square. So from here we get cos theta is equal to square root of 1 minus x square. It can be plus minus, so we can take the plus value here for the sake of simplicity. So sin inverse x into square root of 1 minus x square plus c. You see, both the results are same here and here by means of two different ways. Okay. So dear students, so we solved several problems using all these categories where there are two functions out of which one is not directly integrable. There is only one function which is not directly integrable, and there are two functions both are directly integrable. Then we choose that which one to select as the first function by means of that Eilert rule. Okay, so now I am going to solve a different type of question. So here, okay, and let me do it here. Okay. So the question here is that, dear students, that how to perform the integration of e power x sin x dx. Okay. So suppose let's assume that integration is denoted by I is equal to e power x sin x dx. Okay. Now we see that e power x is directly integrable, sin x is also directly integrable. So now between these two, which one to select as the first function? That according to the Eilert rule, okay, trigonometric function comes left to the exponential function. So sin x should be considered as the first function. So what we should write it here, dear students? So sin x should be considered as the first function, sin x into e power x dx minus integration ddx of sin x, ddx of sin x into integration of e power x dx, then complete integration dx. Okay. So what we are going to get it here, dear students? So integration of e power x dx is equal to e power x. So you can write e power x sin x minus integration ddx of sin x is cos x. So we will write it here cos x into integration of e power x dx is e power x. So we started with integration of e power x sin x dx, but we landed with e power x cos x dx. But we should proceed one more step and we will get the solution. Okay, how? So again we need to perform that integration of cos x into e power x dx. So cos x is a trigonometric function, e power x is exponential function. Trigonometric function come left to the exponential function according to the Eilert rule. So we should take cos x as the first function. So let's go ahead. So this is equal to e power x into sin x minus. Okay, so let's keep this entire integration something like this: cos x into integration e power x dx minus integration ddx of cos x into integration of e power x dx and complete dx. Okay, and we can complete the bracket here. Okay. So then what we are going to get it here, dear students, so this is equal to e power x into sin x minus, what we get it here is that cos x into e power x dx is e power x. So what we get is that e power x into cos x minus, what is ddx of cos x? ddx of cos x is minus sin x. So we write integration of minus sin x into integration of e power x dx is e power x. So we get e power x dx. Okay, dear students, so what we get it here then? So we write it here, this is equal to e power x into sin x minus, we write that e power x cos x, e power x cos x. Now this minus and this minus become plus, that plus multiplied with this minus become minus. So ultimately we get minus integration e power x into sin x dx. Now dear students, that e power x sin x dx is nothing but I, that the integration what you wanted to perform. Okay, so what we can write? So we can write, so in all these steps we can write this implies I is equal to, this implies I is equal to, this implies I is equal to, and here also you can write this implies I is equal to. So I is equal to what? So from here we can write, dear students, that I is equal to e power x into e power x sin x minus e power x cos x. So we took e power x common, so e power x into sin x minus cos x minus I. Okay, so this minus I is nothing but this minus of e power x sin x dx. So this minus I we can take into the left hand side, become 2i. Okay, so from here what we can get it? So from here we get that 2i is equal to e power x into sin x minus cos x. Okay, and we can add one integrating constant here, plus c, so plus c. Okay, or you can write this is equal to c1, where c1 is an integrating constant. Now we can make what? That I is equal to 1 by 2 this. So what we get is that, so this implies that I is equal to e power x divided by 2 into sin x minus cos x, okay, plus c1 by 2, and that we can consider as another integrating constant as c. So dear students, so whatever has been given to us to find that integration of e power x sin x dx, so that value we get as this is equal to e power x by 2 into sin x minus cos x, sin x minus cos x plus one integrating constant c. Okay, dear students, so I hope you got a very clear idea. Okay, now what I will suggest you is to make some more practice. Okay, from website of www.konarkclasses.com. You will get plenty of relevant problems when you solve with DPP, that is daily practice problem. After that you can go for PT, that is practice test. Okay, then you can go for unit test, that is called UT. Then you can go for module test, that is called MDT, and finally you can go for mock test, that is known as MT. With all these tests, you become very rock solid in solving problem. Okay, with respect to this one, like this there are many for all this chapter, physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, all categories problems are there, so you can take test from there. With this note, let me conclude this session here. Thank you very much, and we will start our next session soon. Thank you.